No, you're fine.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On Texas soil, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Proof of posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code as amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. At this time, any members of the public who wish to speak shall have 5 minutes each to address the court. Mr. Morgan.
I'm here this morning on our concern for our citizens of Freestone County. In this county, we have low frequency noise being generated by gas compressor stations. There's 130 of them in Freestone County. This noise is harming our people. It's harmed me. I've been to the emergency room 5 times because of the noise, and they can't do anything for me. So I found a doctor in Lafayette, Indiana, got her name from Lisbon, Portugal, because she knows about this stuff. And she says, I went to her office in Lafayette. She says, you got the beginnings of vibroacoustic disease caused by low frequency noise. As a result of that, I've done a lot of research. And I found protective caps that you can wear. It has microfine silver thread in it to protect your brain. If you protect your brain, you can protect the rest of your body. More caps. I wear these to bed every night. Microfine silver threaded material. 6 layers of that. Plus the heat shield that you can put on in your attic. Well, it's got aluminum impregnated stuff in it, and it keeps the noise off of you also. My back was killing me. I found out that if I put something underneath my mattress, it'll keep it from coming up underneath the bed. This is horrible things to do to American citizens. The 2 children, the Roddy Run and the other child, I was over there close to their home with my granddaughter at a baseball practice. I had to leave there because my head hurt so bad. And I found out there was a compression station nearby. And I also found out the Roddy Run kid was in utero about that time. He had brain damage. I had to leave there and go over to Brookshire Brothers and come back and pick up my granddaughter. Every day, every night, I'm sleeping with all this stuff on. I should not have to do that. I lived there for 30 years, 25 years, before oil and gas came, and I never had a problem. I don't even take an aspirin, but now I have to take a special medication to keep my blood pressure down. I was invited to speak at the National Frank Attack Conference in 2013. 500 people there from 30 states. 3 weeks after I spoke, it was 145 decibels on my back porch. 123 decibels in my bedroom. The EPA says for the hearing range noise, the limit is 55. I was jolted out of bed. I didn't just get out of bed, I was jolted out of bed. Got my noise meter, took 2 noise readings, got dressed, and left within 5 minutes. My blood pressure was 212 over 112. Immediate stroke stage. That's why I am so intrigued by this stuff and feel that I have to act. I have testified before the Sunset Review Commission. And the chairman says, you have this very well documented, don't you? He initiated House Bill 1818 that says to the Railroad Commission, you've got to do something to protect our people and the environment. The Railroad Commission chairman got $3 million from oil and gas for her reelection campaign. We only pay her $150,000 a year. Who do you think she's going to stand up for? I went over there and spoke to her and the commissioners. She didn't even pay much attention, but one of the guys, an A&M guy, I'm an A&M guy, I don't think I get some sense into him. He's the only one that asked a question. Do you have any medical data to back this up? Yes, sir, I sure do. I apologize for not having it in this package for you today. But give me your email and I'll send it to all three of you. And I did that. They still refuse to do anything concerning the noise, even though it's not specifically stated. You will protect our people. This stuff is harming our people all over this county. We're going to have heart attacks galore. You're beginning to see them now. This stuff makes your body secrete adrenaline. And your adrenaline, too much, it makes your blood vessels constrict. And I had that's why I had the brain damage, a big black spot that big around the center of my brain. With a lot of prayer, it's gone. I'm tired of this. We've got to get people's attention. I've sent a letter to 27 county judges. Each of those 27 county judges have more than 1,000 gas wells in their county. And their people are being harmed also. I've asked the Commissioner's Court to send a letter to Governor Abbott. I gave a letter to Governor Abbott when he came through Leona. And he said he'd look into it. Well, he didn't. And his staff, who was supposed to look into it, didn't either. 8 months later, I called them up. I said, what's going on? They said, well, you can send a letter to Governor Abbott requesting he have the Attorney General of Texas give a reading on whether noise should be included in that annual plan the Railroad Commission is supposed to develop. Well, this gentleman said, we'll get that letter out.
We will. We haven't yet.
Then I look and who can ask for an opinion of the Attorney General. Governor was one of them, and I asked you to write a letter to them. But I also gave a letter recently to the county attorney. The county attorney is on the list of people who can make ask the Attorney General to get a reading on this.
And I told you when you came to the office that I would visit with him about that.
I agree. But I felt like
Although
I
we
need.
cannot tell him to do what to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but we will visit that.
I agree with you, man. But I felt like I need to give him the data I need him to have and make a request to him for our group, Citizens for Environmental Cleanup. We've been helping this county for 6 years. A lot of people don't know it.
And we will, and then we will respond to you.
I appreciate it, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity to talk.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak this morning?
I would. I've got a couple of things on my mind that bothered me for 2.5 years. We've got a commissioner sitting right here driving a county vehicle, drawing over $14,000 a year to drive his personal vehicle. That's not right to me, folks. You could give deputies or jailers, 6 of them, $2,400 a year if you take the vehicle amounts away from him and let him drive the county vehicle. Also, the truck he's driving has no signs on it, which is against the law. It has darked out windows, which are too dark for law. That's against the law. And I really think something needs to be done about this. Also, it's not right that he's sitting here with $7,500 delinquent in tax, and he's fixing to raise my tax and vote to raise it and levy the tax. I don't think that's right, people. That's just not, that's not kosher when you're a commissioner and sitting on this court. And that's actually all I've got to say. But I hope you got a share button on that, on Facebook, on this tape, because I think the 20,000 people in this county need to know what's going on. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? I've been here
a while, so y'all need to hear from me. My name's Pat Wiggins. I live in Precinct 3. And I'm here to speak on behalf of the employees of the county. As a taxpayer, I think we need to do better by them. And I'm willing to pay reasonable taxes to do so. The thing that bothers me most, and I talked to Mike about this last year, and I haven't been coming to every week like I used to, or every meeting like I used to, but I haven't seen anything to indicate to me that there is any way for an employee of this county to get off the bottom of the pay scale range. That's wrong. There should be some kind of merit raises or something so that every year the raise y'all vote for them today is not the only raise they get. I mean, they come in at entry level, that's a rule that y'all have written. Everybody comes in at the bottom and then they stay there. And the bottom may go up a little bit, but they're still at the bottom, and that's wrong. There's no incentive for an employee to do an excellent job. And frankly, I've said it before and I'll say it again, there's no incentive for anybody to work for this county. And I'm proud that you get people to work for y'all. But I think you need to do right by them. That's my opinion.
Anyone else? There's not. Then we will go to item number 1 to approve the minutes of the July 16th special meeting, July 17th special meeting, July 23rd special meeting, and July 29th special meeting. You will review those minutes.
Ready, everybody? Yeah, discussion.
On the minutes. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, none, motion carried. Item number 2 is budget transfers and amendments.
Judge Green, here's the certification for the grant that Senior Services receives, and that's the second payment.
Discussion on the budget transfers. As we get to the end of the year, there are always a number of transfers that we have, quite a large number of transfers that we have to make. As everyone is getting low on all of their line items, I need a little transfer around. discussion on budget amendments or transfer? If there's no discussion on budget transfers and amendments, do we have a motion to approve the budget transfers and amendments? And that amendment includes the special fund. And for the certification of funds received that go into the special budget for senior services.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3 is to approve and pay the bills. Any discussion on the bills?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 4 is to approve the payroll. Did you send that this week? Here it is. Is there a second? Board is reports. I have a report from the extension office for July. JP2, July. And clerk, July.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Item number 6 is the burn ban. There is a burn ban in place. There's no discussion on that. It will remain. We'll go to item number 7, special road use agreements. Are there any? This is not a road use agreement, but that we did get a letter from TxDOT, that beginning in April 20, there will be a project on dead end 27. It's estimated that the roadway will be closed for 1 week to replace 2 culverts at the intersection of FM 27 and BNSF Railroad intersection. And that will be that's just the information for that. More special road use agreements will go to bonds and education certificates. I have a certificate of completion from Allison French for the cyber awareness training, number 4. Master Police Officer certification, Jailer proficiency certification, and legal updates, certificate on JP 3, and I think what number you are, JP 3 on Justice Peace Seminar. Jamie Phillips on cyber security and safe remote and mobile computing, and for experienced court personnel seminar, tricky issues criminal webinar, and I also have a report from Lisa Forey on hours on professional county elector maintenance transcripts. We have any others? Not, we have a motion to accept the bonds and education certificate. All in favor, aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Item number 9, consider recommendation from the salary grievance committee. We did not have a salary grievance committee meeting. There were no applicants. So we'll go to item number 10, to approve to continue receiving a share of bingo prizes. And Texas Lottery Commission has sent a letter and pursuant to House Bill 914. We must affirmatively vote to do so and submit proof of that vote to the Texas Lottery Commission by November the 1st. And we do get a fee from them for bingo. I think is the only thing, isn't that right? And they send some to state, and the state sends us a very small percentage. We have a motion to approve to continue receiving the share of the bingo prize fees.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, aye.
I make the motion, please.
Thank
you.
Item number 11, to approve Texas Department of Motor Vehicles imposition of optional fees for calendar year 2020. And we are statutorily required to notify them each year regarding the imposition of fees or removal of optional fees. Lisa, you're not requesting any change, are you?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
All right, we have a motion to approve that. All in favor, aye. Item number 12, consider a request from you, Volunteer Fire Department, to sell a 1988 brush truck.
Good morning. I'm on request this morning on Brush 53, which is a 1988 GMC. This truck has been our engine, and then it was converted to a brush truck, and it's just run out of life. So what we've done is we've taken the bed of 53 is the one that we're going to put it on another truck, and we did that ourselves so that we didn't have to send it off or whatever. So what I'm asking if I can sell this 1988 GMC. We've already had a couple of people come by wanting to make a dump truck or something out of it or whatever. So anyway, any questions or?
I make a motion that the list is not affecting anything.
Actually, y'all bought that truck, didn't you?
If
Am
I'm
I
not,
remembering right?
if I'm not mistaken, it was,
I'll have to go back.
if I'm not mistaken,
Nonetheless, it's basically, what was your question, I'm sorry?
Well, I was going to say, I'll make a motion that we allow the youth volunteer fire department to sell the 1988 brush 53 truck if there's no problem with
Is there any procedure they have to follow?
Other than y'all approved it, other than, well, y'all approved it.
we'll kind of do it like we did 51 with that old truck that we did a couple months ago. If you had the title, but I think y'all bought that truck. They had the truck when I got on the fire department, so
Okay, so do we have a motion to allow them to sell it subject to whatever requirements are necessary in the statute?
If it's a title to the county, we then sell it or whatever y'all normally sell it, or are we doing it that way even with it?
Well, it may be one of those where actually they already have to put our name on it in order to insure it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if it's county, then can we just let them sell it, or do we have to put it on that Dove deal or Gov deal?
The last one was that they sold was just theirs, and we had to put it in our name for insurance purposes.
And I'm not sure.
And I haven't looked at that, but I mean, I'll be glad to look at it and make
and I
sure.
mean, we still got time to look at it.
Yes, and whatever's required by statute.
Yeah, just whatever, how we.
Yes,
I'll look at it.
I think that's a motion. Do we have a motion?
We do have a motion.
Okay, and that is included in the motion?
Yes. And whatever's necessary.
Whatever's necessary statutory essentially. Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, aye. And you'll get with Karen about the
Yes,
procedure.
ma'am. Thank you very much.
Item number 13 is to discuss the patrol duty police.
Mr. Billy Hughes is here today to, he's with American National Leasing, to talk to you about the lease program we mentioned before, as far as price, what it can do for us, and he knows that better than I do, so I'm gonna let him, I'll turn that over to him. Y'all can hear what he has to say about that.
Good morning. First off, I'll introduce myself, Billy Hughes, American National Leasing. Please, as I'm going, y'all stop me, because sometimes it's like trying to get a drink of water from a fire hydrant, a lot of information, so that happens, just pause me. But, so I'm with American National Bank and Trust, part of American National Leasing. We are located in Wichita Falls. We got 9 branches, from Chillicothe all the way down into downtown Dallas. We've been doing leasing for over 20 years. I've been with the company a little bit over 5 years. And historically, we've kind of been in the North Texas area, but we've been exploding. We're now the #1 fleet management program in the state of Texas. So this is my territory. We go all over the state. The orange counties are counties that we're currently in or working with. The yellow counties are counties that I have in process, providing them presentations. It's actually not updated because Hill County and also Ellis County just signed up this past week on our fleet management program. So the fleet management program, the way that came about is we originally started doing just motor graders. We do everything. We do motor graders, we do skid steers, all heavy equipment, then phones, copiers. If it's something that the county needs, we've done it. Somehow or another, before I got there, they even did a roof. I don't know how you go get a roof if something doesn't pan out. Yeah. So whatever y'all need, we do. The fleet management program kind of came from the motor graders. In our area, they do the buyback program for the motor graders. They do the lease. Do y'all do that?
We have in the past.
Okay. So what we did is we took that and we kind of made it to our fleet management program. I know historically when you hear leasing, it's like, oh my gosh, leasing, we don't want to do it, but it's not really a leasing program because there's no mileage caps. The way this works is we know that the deputies will average between 30 and 40,000 miles a year. So we set this up on a 3-year lease because we want that vehicle to be within 90 to 120,000 miles. The reason why we want that under 120,000 miles is because once that patrol Tahoe hits 120,000 miles, your maintenance costs go up. It's about 130 is where you really start seeing that jump. And what we want to do is keep your maintenance costs low. You're always going to have maintenance costs. You got your tires, your batteries, and fluid. What we want to do is get away from having the engine costs and having those high dollar items. So what we do is we set that up on a 3-year lease. If you have money to put down, that's great. If you don't, and you're just going to want to sell vehicles that you're replacing, we do that as well. Because the way this program works is we actually take this vehicle in 3 years, we'll show it back up, and we'll take this vehicle and we sell it to our vendors. We've got vendors here in Texas, Chicago, and Florida. And what they do is they buy these vehicles, refurbish them, and sell them to other law enforcement agencies. So it meets the state requirement for them not to have to take the equipment off, which lowers your maintenance costs or your labor costs and have to deal with that at the end of the mill. Now, we typically get, if that vehicle has, say, 110,000 miles on it, we'll get between $14,000 and $16,000 for that Tahoe. We have a residual on here. We have a residual on here on a 3-year lease of $90,000. What that is, it's kind of what we call a balloon note. This is also your option to get out of the lease program should you decide to take that. Say we get $15,000 for that vehicle. What that does is it pays off that Tahoe $9,000, and anything above that, the county gets. We don't take any fees off of that, no maintenance fees, anything out of that. That's all your money. And this, you can use that however you want to. Probably 95% of my counties just roll it into the next round of vehicles. I do have some occasional use it for vests or camera systems or what have you, but the majority of the time we roll into the next round of vehicles. And that's where you see the true benefit of the program, because you're always running that money back in, which helps alleviate that cost. What I did on this, on that first column, you can see the 3-year lease and how that works. Now, I didn't use any down payment money. I know that the sheriff had talked to you about possibly purchasing 3 vehicles, which would cost the county around $160,000. What I did was I just took, I was going to sell some of the vehicles they have down there that they're not even using, which we do as well. I'm not going to take anything out of that. That's just something we're going to do to try and help the sheriff out. But I used $5,000 from the sale of those vehicles on these vehicles as a down payment. If you had down payment money, that'd be even better. Let's say you take, for instance, let's say you take $75,000, which is a little bit under half of what it would cost to purchase a 3. Your payment on that vehicle would drop down to around $5,300. Now, your annual payment for 3 vehicles would be around $16,000. So you get 3 vehicles, it's $16,000 a year, which is crazy. The reason why we're blowing up and why we're the #1 fleet management program in the state of Texas is because of that right there. Because with the state pushing down all the mandates that y'all have to do and use and apply without giving you additional money, people are going to get more creative with how they're doing their budgets and how they're looking at their vehicles. Because the sheriff has to have those tools for them to be able to do their job. What we're able to do is give you those tools and help you do more with less. That's a lot. What questions? Anything so far? Okay. So the next column I looked at, just to give an example of how it compares, is I looked at if you were just to purchase those vehicles and just finance them out for 4 years, and you can see the savings just on the length of time. That's without a down payment. If you have a down payment, it is even more money that you're going to save. But you're saving the money initially with the county by using the fleet management program. You're also saving money through the program because you're able to turn your whole fleet over. There's a way to turn your whole fleet over for less than $100,000 a year, which is crazy because that's less than 2 cars.
On maintenance costs, is it like ARI where you would pay for the maintenance and then
No,
you pay for it and then charge a fee?
it would still be under y'all's maintenance program where you still do the change the oil and do the tires and all that.
Right.
The thing that it would be is if you had motor issues or powertrain issues, stuff like that. What we want to do is keep that down below that $100,000 120,000 miles, so that you don't have as many of those. You're still gonna have some. We know that. And you're still gonna have, and let's take the instance, I know last night they had one, they hit a hog. We've had all sorts of issues. We've had vehicles struck by lightning. We've had, you're gonna have wrecks from pursuits. Anything happens like that, it's still covered under your insurance policy because you own the vehicles. They're your vehicles. Your name's on the title. All we're showing is a lien over it. So it's still under your insurance policy. It can still go through that. But we do have ways to make sure that you get that money back if there's a wreck. I learned that from Commissioner Sipes in Young County, who was actually a insurance salesperson for 40 years. So I know of different ways of getting the maximum amount of money for your vehicles when they get wrecked. The other part of this is, because we're the #1 fleet management program in the state of Texas, I have a lot of sway with how the vehicles get built and how fast they get built. So the opportunity to get these done quicker happens as well. There is a little thing that comes up this year that's a little bit different that I'll tell you about is Chevy builds these PPV Tahoes in Arlington. Well, they're shutting down that plant in November because they're changing the body style and they have to retool everything. It's going to be shut down for, they say 11 months. I can't see them being shut down that long, but it's going to be shut down for a while. So what happens is they're going to actually shut down the orders on these vehicles at the end of this month. So they're not going to allow any more people to buy Tahoes if you're not already in. There will be some out there that call well through CAP and that also provides for Lone Star trying to set aside. But that's one reason why I'm here today to present to you all, to let you know that we can save this money, but also let you know there is a thing out there that we need to start paying attention to make sure that they can still get their vehicles.
That's a good question. The only kind of vehicles y'all deal in is Tahoes?
No, sir. We do everything. We do. I've got people that run Dodge trucks. I've got the Chevy trucks, the Tahoes. I've got the Ford Interceptors. Anything that the sheriff wants, we do.
I didn't see any of those. The only thing I saw quotes on there were Tahoes on this piece of paper.
Yes, sir. That's
was there a reason for this midget said Tahoes?
Yes, sir. That's what the sheriff wanted to look at right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you that the one big change that I've seen this year is with the new Ford Interceptors, the 2020 Ford Interceptors that you now have to purchase. Their cost is actually higher than the Tahoe, which is weird because when I first started, the Tahoe was 30 to 33, and the Interceptor was 28. Now the Interceptor is more expensive than the Tahoe, which is one reason why I know the sheriff wanted to also had looked around, but with the Ford Interceptor being more expensive, plus they're smaller, they've got a smaller tank size, so we have to gas up more. It ends up costing the county more money overall, not only initially with the cost of the vehicle, but overall with the maintenance and other things. So the Tahoe is actually, the Tahoe is the police vehicle of today. It is what the Crown vehicle was for so many years. Of the counties in Texas that you have out there, I would say probably 80 to 85% of them are on Tahoes. There's a few out in West Texas that are in the trucks, but now I've actually had some of them, like Dallam County, up in the north, in Dalhart, Concho County, Sutton County, down by El Dorado, and I'm just going to blank on that one. But they're actually running the PPV Tahoes, but they're running the 4x4 PPV Tahoes, which is, they're brand new. They only came out last year, but they're pursuit rated Tahoes. They're still have 4-wheel drive, but these are the 2-wheel drive Tahoes. That's what the job is.
They're rigged out, ready to go like everyone wants.
Yes, sir. In fact,
Body style changes next year.
they said, the sheriff said all the equipment up there. They determine what they want on there. In fact, when I get quotes, I sent it to Devin. Devin looked at it, he went through it, made sure that he wanted changes, anything he wanted to put on there. But it's always set up the way they want to do it. We don't determine. And we also, at the end, when we rotate these vehicles out, there's also equipment that you want to pull out, like I pull out your radar, your camera systems, radios, things that are could still continue to use, because you can get 2 or 3 cycles out of those. But with the lights and all that, the way they rig those up, because they actually pull the lining out, run the line, the wires are there, it's just easier to leave that on there. Plus, you get more value for it.
So, can we make a decision on this morning?
trying to show you there was, even if you do, because I know if you look at the 3-year, the payment for those vehicles is just a little bit higher than what it is if you do the 4-year. But when you look at the total amount that you're going to pay over the life of the loan, it's actually costs more to do the 4-year lease. Because you're not, and the other part of that I didn't even include in that, is the value that you're getting back at the end. When we sell those vehicles for you as trade-ins, and you get that $5,000 to $6,000 over that residual, I'm not even including that in the value. You're actually even more savings than what's showing on that paper, because the county's gonna get money back for those vehicles, which is the main difference between us and there's nobody else that does what we do. There's other people that have leasing programs, but nobody does what we do, and nobody gets the value that we do because we have the volume. With that volume and with those vehicles showing up, we're getting the value back to the county. And that's the main thing we want to do, is get y'all the money back so that y'all can continue to stay in the program. Now let's say, let me give you another example, because y'all been following along pretty good, so let me give you another example. So those 3, say we do 3 today. In 3 years' time, we come back and we're trying to do another 3, but what we do is we say, what we want to do is we want to keep one of those vehicles. Say the county wants to keep one and move it to the CID. Then what happens is you pay off that $9,000 residual, then the county owns that free and clear to that point. You pay the $9,000 residual, and you own that one. And then we'll take the other 2, we'll sell those for you, pull all that money and apply it for the next round of cars. You don't have to turn all 3 cars in. If you want to keep one to move to CID, you can keep one to move to CID.
But at the bottom, we're getting total annual payments paid over the life of the note, $125,000. Is that for 3 vehicles?
This one.
Okay, we didn't see that. I couldn't come up with 125 there exactly.
No, I took that 41,880 and divided by the 30
Okay.
this one.
Oh, okay, it says 3. Estimated annual payment for 3.
It's a 41, and then the life of the note, for 3 years, that's what you pay for the vehicles over 3 years, which is still less than the
But
160.
if we got 3, and this payment would be 3 times that each year.
Yes, ma'am. If you don't apply anything down as down payment, I'm estimating for the 5,000. Now, and again, if you have money put down, that makes it even better. But it's not required.
How many vehicles do you normally need running each year?
Well, we have 1 courthouse and 15 of us, so 16. Of course, the one for the courthouse is being used in a different vehicle.
How many of those are patrol? Is it 10 patrol?
10 are basically on patrol, yes. 9 for sure, and 1's in and out here.
I think what we had to, when we first started talking, we first met at the sheriff's conference last year. And then I've been through several times, talking with the sheriff and chief deputy since then. And we talked about doing a fleet management program where we looked at all of them. But what we initially talked about was looking at these 3 and showing you the savings that the county could get first, right off the very bat. And then over the life of that term, showing that savings for just the 3. We can always look at doing the rest later, but the 3 is what we want to look at right now, just so you can get an idea.
Right, I was just thinking how
Sure.
much, if you are going to do it for 3 years, at some point you would have 9 that you were paying on if you release it.
Yes.
With the 3-year rotation.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what I was looking at with the fleet management program, where you turn that around, which is what we do for a lot of these counties. If you were to spend, let's say you took $100,000, okay, which is 2 vehicles. But if you took that $100,000 and used that as a down payment on those 3, these first 3, your payment's going to be, I did it with 75, and it came out to 5,000. So I think with an extra 25,000, it would probably be around 3,000. So you're talking about paying 9,000 a year for these 3. Then take that 100,000 next year, and you subtract out that 9. Then you apply that as a down payment. you turn over your whole fleet with less than 100,000. So what you've been spending on 2 vehicles, and then you would get for 6 over 3 years, you could turn your whole fleet over and still save money.
Yes, I'm sure they'll want to.
Haven't seen it.
But,
If you want me to.
Is that the turn?
yeah.
Uh,
Is waiting on it. I think we need to get on some type of rotation this way. My thought is, it would be good for us to think about this until next week.
I can also send it back and show you the full 3-year and show you how that would work. And put that down.
Yeah,
I can get that back to Devin. I might not be here next week, but
that's
I'll
fine.
have for Devin.
I think we just need a little time to think about it, then hear from Brian, but,
I can also send another thing that the attorney just usually like to see, is I can send a blank contract as well. So y'all just
yes,
look at
that'd be
it.
good.
That's, so y'all have one. Then I'll send that over to Devin so that I'll have that to present to y'all next week, so you can see what it looks like for the full fleet. And I'll show
If
you.
you would, send it in time so that Brian can look at it before.
Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
So I'll have it by, is the meeting, what day next week is the meeting? Wednesday? I'll have it by Friday or Monday.
All right.
Perfect.
Any other
Thank y'all.
questions? No, thank you very much. If you come up with any, we'll give you a call.
Please,
Great.
yeah, just shoot me an email if there's any additional questions, I'll address those in the email. All right, thank y'all.
So, do you think that it would be better with a 3-year or a 4-year?
Oh, I think 3. I mean, 'cause
Well, I
you-
know that would be better if we make it on a 4-year lease.
Yeah, but you're gonna pay more money.
Put more miles on it, bring it, but
That's true. No, I'm just asking, yeah.
Oh,
But talking about the mileage that he talked about, could you make it for a 4-year? Or is our mileage, limits going to be to where
There
we
is no-
couldn't even consider a 4-year?
there is no limits on this lease. There's no mileage
He
limit.
said they like to get them between a certain number of miles though?
Oh, well, yeah, that brings, because the money that you're trading in, that helps the value of the vehicle, but
Right, I understand
we're,
that, but we could go, if it's not even possible for us to think about a 4-year lease, I'm trying to eliminate that one option.
the 4-year, we put about 120,000 miles on a vehicle in 3 or 4 years. And that's what I think that's what he was saying. What he was saying was, anything above that, we're gonna start seeing a deficiency in the price of our return.
So even if we thought we don't think that mileage-wise, we could make it on a 4-year lease to keep it under that 120 is what I'm trying to ask you.
Correct. I believe based on the 3-year from the lease application and that stuff, you would continually hit your target area to provide us a higher residual result. That way you could roll that money over into the next leasing period for the next vehicles. In the 4 years, your price on that trade-in or whatever we're gonna get out of that vehicle is gonna drop dramatically. But also too, it's just gonna be a cost factor as far as us paying from 3rd to 4. I think it's more economical to look at that 3-year period I think we get the bigger bang for the
So
buck.
The interest rate also goes up as
It's
you add
better
to it.
to say basically that the 4-year is not a good option.
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I was
If
trying
they
to
drive
say.
that car,
Eliminate that, let's think about it.
30,000 miles, if I figured it right, 30,000 miles a year, 365 days, they're driving 82.19 miles per day.
We usually do more than that.
Well, I'm just saying, that's an average per day.
Yeah, we usually do more
I
than
don't
that.
know how much they drive a day, I'm just so, today he may be off and not driving any, I'm just saying, so I, what I'm saying, I don't know, I mean, it's just an average that I.
Yeah, I think our guys normally get anywhere from 120 to 150 miles a day.
So basically what we're saying is the 3 years, basically what we need to look at, and we can eliminate talking about the 4 year. Okay. All right.
Plus that interest goes up from 430 to 470.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just concerned about the maintenance part of it, because I know like with, in oil field, they use a billing company, and they have something done, say at Eddie's or the Ford place, ARI pays them, then they charge a fee for doing that. It's a bill. The bill goes to them, they pay it, what I'm saying. But they charge a little for that, and I didn't know if that's, but he said that wasn't the way it was. So we're gonna talk about it next week, that's what we're doing.
One second. Okay.
Chuck, before we go to the next item, can you take a short break?
Sure.
Thank you.
We're to the short break time, yes.